Hello and welcome back to another developer interview. I'm here with senior game director?
Game director.
Ian Hazzikostas and Maria Hamilton. What's your job role, sorry?
I'm an associate design director.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so we're, like a couple days away from 11.1 now?
Just a few days. It's coming up.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of PTR. It's good fun. I really enjoyed it. I like the drive system. It's great, and the cartels and everything like that is awesome. But I have been playing Delves quite a bit as well. And my first question was kind of curious on kind of the development process of it. So obviously, originally, I believe the plan was to have like different Delve companions over time. And now we've ended up with Bran again. He's got a tank role. What was if you can say, what was the original plan instead of Bran? Did we have someone in mind, potentially?
No one specific in mind. I think when we very first talked about the feature at BlizzCon, when we're talking about an expansion a year out, there's always some assumptions that are being made. And I think we imagined that, you'd have a seasonal companion every season, and that would change. Then as we actually sat down, early fall, late summer last year, to begin planning how that would work going into Season 2, I think we quickly realized there were some issues with that initial plan, those assumptions, where players were used to playing with a fully leveled, spec'd out Bran and replacing him with a brand new companion without those points already allocated or earned was going to feel like a step back. It was going to feel kind of frustrating in a bad sort of borrowed power sense. And so we decided, let's just keep building on Bran's abilities and letting you continue to level him up, not reset the progression. And so I think the way we're currently thinking about it is having an expansion Delve companion. So as we look ahead to Midnight, we will probably be looking at a different companion that's going to go with you on those Delves.
Right.
But Bran is your man for the rest of War Within.
Brilliant. Yeah, I love his tank role. It's really handy, actually, because even as a DPS, it still feels pretty good to have him tank the mobs. I do have a kind of story question. I'm just going to jump to it. It's kind of like not related to what I just asked. I do have Delve-related questions, but Maria, I'm sure you can potentially answer this. So in Ashara, there's a big old cannon over there, and it's not doing much, but it is goblin-related. Can you say anything about this situation?
I mean, goblins leave stuff everywhere.
That's true.
Yeah.
Will we see it do anything, potentially, in the future?
It's hard to say. Goblins, they're into everything, and they leave stuff around, and we've got a lot of World Soul Saga to go, so opportunities abound for interesting and fun things to happen. But, just because goblins leave giant cannons around doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, there are just all sorts of huge weapons strewn across Azeroth. Guns sitting in Ashara, a big sword in Xal'atath.
It's true, yeah.
Who can say what the future holds there?
It's the first I'm hearing about this sword. I do have another Delve question, kind of like more... Just something from the PTR was like an observation. So we saw when we were copying characters over to PTR that undercoins were being reset every time. Is that the plan for Season 2, that they'll be reset as a currency, potentially? Hello, Future Dan here from editing. So in this part, Ian actually just said that he didn't know, and actually after the interview, he instantly came out and confirmed to me that yes, they are getting wiped in Season 2. That's kind of the plan there, it seems. So yeah, that was nice that he actually kind of made the effort afterwards to come and, say that they are being wiped. So yeah, undercoins will be wiped in Season 2 and presumably Season 3 as well. So go and spend your undercoins. And I'll just skip to the next question now. Also on Delves, sorry, for some reason I've got loads of Delve questions. Curios are being reset as well in Season 2, I believe. Is that something we can expect every season?
I think so currently, yes. The curios this time around are much more goblin-themed, and that's generally a sense of season-specific mechanics, whereas the rest of Bran's capabilities, those are retained and carried over. Curios are where there's going to be a lot of variety season over season.
Okay. With Mythic Plus and Legacy Dungeons, what's the process in kind of picking those dungeons and for the dungeon pool for Mythic Plus?
There are a few different factors involved. It's a mix of some of his dungeons that were fan favorites or fondly remembered, dungeons that have a thematic connection to what's going on in the pool. I think it's no coincidence that we looked at places like Motherlode or Mechagon in the context of a more tech engineering oriented patch and general pool. The other major factor is just dungeon length and structure. I think we're looking for, a certain range of size, but also we want some dungeons that are more linear, some dungeons that have branching paths. And so we'll look at the existing pool of dungeons from the current expansion and see what parameters we need to complement those. And that will also help inform the decision.
Yeah, excellent. I didn't write this down, but I've got one for Maria about Undermine and the cartels and things like that. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Didn't prepare very well for this. But so obviously right now on PTR we have 4 goblin cartels we choose from. Did notice something about the Dark Fuse potentially. Is there something there with them? Like, obviously we're not friends with them, but it seems like there might be potentially a secret cartel that we might be able to join.
Well, we're certainly not friends with him as we start, and the story obviously leads us to a raid called the Liberation of Undermine. And I feel like sort of enforcer sorts of cartel might find future jobs when their leader suffers problems. So I think it's a safe bet that we will see more of Dark Fuse, but I certainly wouldn't want to spoil anything.
No.
Yeah.
Of course not. I love that. Yeah, the PTR's been fun, seeing all different bits and pieces in the data. Just be like, what's this about? So, yeah, looking forward to launch next week. Another one I got. So on Undermine, obviously we have the drive system, all that kind of stuff. Would there ever be a world where we could fly there potentially, or is it just going to be ground mounts forever? Not that I have a problem with that. I think the drive system's fantastic, but.
I mean, I think when we designed Undermine, it was specifically meant not to have flying, right? One of my favorite things about the zone is when you first come in and you look up, and you see, we'll call it the skybox, because it is, it is very goblin in its, and I think that wouldn't hold up well if you were flying right up to it. It wasn't something we were actually expecting we would do, and the drive system fit so much better with the sort of mean streets of Undermine concept. So I don't expect flying. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but I wouldn't expect it.
Yeah, I mean, just to quickly plus one that, I think the zone, there were choices that were made in building it that assumed that this is a sort of a terrestrial zone. Another parallel is maybe Argus all the way back in Legion, where we knew from the outset we're going to make choices in how we build this zone, how we present it. They're incompatible with flying, but we feel like the upsides of doing that are well worth the trade-offs made, and we knew we wanted to make sure that getting around still felt fast and convenient and fun, and we're excited to have achieved that with the drive system.
Yeah, I will say, from playing the PTR at the beginning and playing it obviously now at the end, the changes, like the small changes of like being able to drive over things and whatever, and like bouncing off walls, like so much better than the first iteration of Drive, because it was just, nightmarish, but now it's like really smooth and nice to move around.
This was one of the benefits, actually, of the PTR, too, because, remember, we'd been playing it internally, and we'd gotten used to it. And as a number of people have commented, when you get used to it, it suddenly, it's not quite so difficult.
Yep.
So having people try it and saying, ooh, we better, because there were a lot of crashes, okay, and that gave us a lot of data to then be able to look at and make those changes. And our engineering team did a lot of work to make it possible to do things like drift. That was actually a considerable amount of work. So we're happy people are having fun with it. Yeah,
it's kind of got that same feeling as like dragon flying when we first went into Dragonflight for the first time. Like that was pretty cool. What was the other one? Oh yeah, so in Undermine, there's obviously you get there through Zandalar and I believe the Ringing Deeps and like Opportunity Points sort of way. There is some other kind of spaces for places to get to Undermine from there. Is that something we'll explore in the future potentially, or are they just kind of like set dressing, I guess? Because the goblins are kind of like, yeah, we might open this eventually, I think. A lot of them say that.
I mean, I feel like, there's a reason we have portal rooms in the capitals that just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And similarly, we'd like to leave space for opportunity, and so if something comes up where it makes sense to go through Undermine, go through Undermine.
Yeah.
Also, all those rocket drills are cool.
Oh, I will say, like, the city it feels like one of the most, like, lived-in cities that's ever been built in WoW, I would say. Like, I think Borealis is another really good example of that, but Undermine it's just the little, like, you walk around, you talk to random goblins, they've all got something to say. Like, it's just such a incredible zone, and obviously if people are big fans of goblins, like, it's phenomenal. I will. So I have one more, let's say, and this is Season of Discovery based. So I've been playing a lot of Season of Discovery. This is adjacent to the modern game. So in Season of Discovery, there's been a shadowy figure popping up every now and then. I believe they started in Phase 1. They popped up during AQ, and they're just kind of around. And it's an elf model that's quite voidy. What's going on?
I think the classic team has just had a ton of fun with Season of Discovery. I think it's great to explore, push the boundaries of what it's like to build new content and tell some new stories in that familiar classic world. I think no comment beyond that specifically. I will say, I guess my one comment is I wouldn't read too much into it. In the sense of there isn't a grand unified theory of cross game canon here. But the team is always looking for a chance to have fun when they can.
Excellent. I love that. I think that's all I've got for 11.1 and everything like that. But I do want to say, I said, really, really like the patch. Very much looking forward to it. We're a couple days out, and I hope the launch goes well.
Thank you very much. The team's going to be very excited to hear about your thoughts on this, and everybody gets so excited on launch day. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for the great questions.
Thanks.